It's 1951. You have a young son you adore, and yet, here you are, being told by your doctor that you should institutionalize him, and then you should forget you ever had him. And it's not just the opinion of this one doctor. It's a view held by most of society. It's today, right now, and there are thousands of people with disabilities who remain invisible, still being ignored or overlooked for opportunities.
But we're gonna change that.
A brighter light is being shined on the two major ways we help people with disabilities thrive. Support services, our day programs, activities, and group homes that empower people with disabilities. And business enterprises, the companies we build to employ people with disabilities and support local organizations. And here's the key. 100% of the proceeds from the business enterprises are used to expand our support services.
In 1951, Evelyn Kennedy and a group of 12 parents began knocking on the doors of strangers and legislators and started a revolution to have society see people with disabilities. Now we're coming to you to tell you what all these years have shown, that when we unite as a collective to empower and employ, our abilities have no bounds. The power of collective impact. It's the reason the Kennedy Center has renamed itself the Kennedy Collective.
This is a big deal, one that grows with your involvement.
So, if you think people with disabilities deserve to be seen,
if you think people with disabilities have value,
It's 1951. You have a young son you adore, and yet, here you are, being told by your doctor that you should institutionalize him, and then you should forget you ever had him. And it's not just the opinion of this one doctor. It's a view held by most of society. It's today, right now, and there are thousands of people with disabilities who remain invisible, still being ignored or overlooked for opportunities.
But we're gonna change that.
A brighter light is being shined on the two major ways we help people with disabilities thrive. Support services, our day programs, activities, and group homes that empower people with disabilities. And business enterprises, the companies we build to employ people with disabilities and support local organizations. And here's the key. 100% of the proceeds from the business enterprises are used to expand our support services.
In 1951, Evelyn Kennedy and a group of 12 parents began knocking on the doors of strangers and legislators and started a revolution to have society see people with disabilities. Now we're coming to you to tell you what all these years have shown, that when we unite as a collective to empower and employ, our abilities have no bounds. The power of collective impact. It's the reason the Kennedy Center has renamed itself the Kennedy Collective.
This is a big deal, one that grows with your involvement.
So, if you think people with disabilities deserve to be seen,
If you think people with disabilities have value,
It's 1951. You have a young son you adore, and yet here you are, being told by your doctor that you should institutionalize him, and then you should forget you ever had him. And it's not just the opinion of this one doctor, it's a view held by most of society. It's today, right now, and there are thousands of people with disabilities who remain invisible, still being ignored or overlooked for opportunities.
But we're gonna change that.
A brighter light is being shined on the two major ways we help people with disabilities thrive. Support services, our day programs, activities, and group homes that empower people with disabilities. And business enterprises, the companies we build to employ people with disabilities and support local organizations. And here's the key. 100% of the proceeds from the business enterprises are used to expand our support services.
In 1951, Evelyn Kennedy and a group of 12 parents began knocking on the doors of strangers and legislators and started a revolution to have society see people with disabilities. Now we're coming to you to tell you what all these years have shown. That when we unite as a collective to empower and employ, our abilities have no bounds. The power of collective impact. It's the reason the Kennedy Center has renamed itself the Kennedy Collective.
This is a big deal, one that grows with your involvement.
So, if you think people with disabilities deserve to be seen,
if you think people with disabilities have value,
It's 1951. You have a young son you adore, and yet here you are, being told by your doctor that you should institutionalize him, and then you should forget you ever had him. And it's not just the opinion of this one doctor, it's a view held by most of society. It's today, right now, and there are thousands of people with disabilities who remain invisible, still being ignored or overlooked for opportunities.
But we're gonna change that.
A brighter light is being shined on the two major ways we help people with disabilities thrive. Support services, our day programs, activities, and group homes that empower people with disabilities. And business enterprises, the companies we build to employ people with disabilities and support local organizations. And here's the key. 100% of the proceeds from the business enterprises are used to expand our support services.
In 1951, Evelyn Kennedy and a group of 12 parents began knocking on the doors of strangers and legislators and started a revolution to have society see people with disabilities. Now we're coming to you to tell you what all these years have shown, that when we unite as a collective to empower and employ, our abilities have no bounds. The power of collective impact. It's the reason the Kennedy Center has renamed itself the Kennedy Collective.
This is a big deal, one that grows with your involvement.
So, if you think people with disabilities deserve to be seen,
If you think people with disabilities have value,
You got to give the speech right now. You're up. You can take these off.
It's 1951. You have a young son you adore, and yet, here you are, being told by your doctor that you should institutionalize him, and then you should forget you ever had him. And it's not just the opinion of this one doctor. It's a view held by most of society. It's today, right now, and there are thousands of people with disabilities who remain invisible, still being ignored or overlooked for opportunities.
But we're gonna change that.
A brighter light is being shined on the two major ways we help people with disabilities thrive. Support services, our day programs, activities, and group homes that empower people with disabilities. And business enterprises, the companies we build to employ people with disabilities and support local organizations. And here's the key. 100% of the proceeds from the business enterprises are used to expand our support services.
In 1951, Evelyn Kennedy and a group of 12 parents began knocking on the doors of strangers and legislators and started a revolution to have society see people with disabilities. Now we're coming to you to tell you what all these years have shown, that when we unite as a collective to empower and employ, our abilities have no bounds. The power of collective impact. It's the reason the Kennedy Center has renamed itself the Kennedy Collective.
This is a big deal, one that grows with your involvement.
So, if you think people with disabilities deserve to be seen,
if you think people with disabilities have value.
Good morning. Wow, it feels like one of those picnics that you have and somebody starts out the event by saying good morning and everybody just woke up. Good morning. That's a little better. What a beautiful, glorious day, totally appropriate for what we're about to do, what we're about to commemorate, and what we're about to share with each other. I'm Rick Sebastian. I'm the president and CEO of the Now Kennedy Collective. And it is my, thank you, Tony. It is my honor to be here and introduce the Kennedy Collective and introduce several of our friends and several of our colleagues who have made today possible and really looking for creating pathways for the next 70 years. The Kennedy Collective turned 71 back in April. On April 11th, we began our 71st anniversary as an organization. Today in attendance, we have some esteemed guests and officials. Congressman Jim Himes. Congressman is a great supporter of us as an organization, and today, Congressman, you don't have to worry about getting paint on your shoes or your shirt. Congressman has spent several occasions with us at MDAC down in Bridgeport, and one of the times we painted a mural on the wall and he got paint on his shoes and his shirt. Connecticut State Senator Tony Hwang, tremendous advocate and friend for us as an organization for many, many years. Connecticut Representative Dave Bertigliano from here in Trumbull, a great friend. Representing Trumbull First Select Woman, the Chief Administrative Officer, Kathy McGannon. Kathy, thank you, and thank Vicki Tesoro for her support of the Kennedy Center, Kennedy Collective. It's going to take a while to get us to use both of those and then just move over to the Kennedy Collective, right? And then we have representing Mayor Joe Ganim, Tia Joseph, Mayor's Director of Communications. Tia, thank you for being here. And we also have in attendance with us this morning another great friend from Monroe, First Selectman Ken Kellogg. When we look at how the Kennedy Center was founded by Evelyn Kennedy in 1951, it took Evelyn and 12 families an immense amount of time and an immense amount of advocacy with our legislature at the time to create services, to create opportunities for people with disabilities. And so without an active legislature at the state level, at the local level, and at the federal level, organizations like the Kennedy Collective can't exist. We do the work on behalf of government for our most vulnerable populations. So we thank all of our elected officials for your ongoing support and wish you well in your future. Also in attendance, we have our colleagues who are our board of directors. The board in a not-for-profit organization is an instrumental group of people that creates opportunities for all of the pathways that we work on. They are the volunteers that advise, that govern, that look at what community is about and look at how we get to fit into that community and keep us on track with all of the regulations that we have to follow. I'd like to welcome Steve Smith, or acknowledge Steve Smith, excuse me. Steve is our vice president. Paul Horton, our treasurer. I'd like to acknowledge Corey Allen. I thought I saw Corey earlier today. Corey is on our board. Randy Kay is on our board. Randy offered her services. For those of you who know Randy and know Randy's professional work, Randy was the voice on our 1951 video. Randy, thank you. Your contribution to that video has made all the difference for us. And then we also have Dr. Bob Chesson from our board of directors today, as well as Joe Denon. If I missed any other board members, Oh, I'm sorry, Steve Rzuski, I wrote your name down and even didn't recognize you. My apologies. Any other board members that are here that I didn't acknowledge and recognize? Thank you for your contributions, thank you for your service, and thank you for your advice in leading us into the next 70 years. Also in attendance with us is Dot Kellersman. Dot is the president of the Kennedy Auxiliary. And Dot has been with this organization for decades and is a stalwart in what is possible. Dot, thank you, and on behalf of all of the members of the Auxiliary, we thank you for the contributions and thank them for the contributions they've made for us to be here today. Thank Dot Kellersman. So today we're announcing a new brand, a new logo, a new name. And we couldn't have done that without the support of a community leader that is a leader here in Connecticut and far beyond. And that is a marketing company that we selected almost 18 months ago to begin this process. And that company is Works from Prospect, Connecticut. And their president and chief creative officer, Grant Copeland, and his team have led us to this point today. Grant, thank you for getting us. Thank you for understanding the value of what it means to serve and to support another human being. And thank you for helping us to tell our story. It's incredible what you and your team have put together on our behalf, and we look forward to a long-lasting relationship as we move forward. And then the last group of folks that I'd like to publicly recognize today are internal to the Kennedy Collective, and that's our development team and business development team and our marketing team, led by Teresa Downs. Teresa and her team that consists of Jeanette Allam, Karen Pilecchia, Joan Nassif, Stephanie Campbell, and Liz Benyon. We owe a debt of gratitude to each of you for your contributions for this work and your contributions for the work throughout the organization. Liz came to us as part of the RFP process that had us meet Grant and his team. And Liz was a contractor and fell in love with the opportunity, fell in love with the organization, and so we fell in love with Liz, and Liz has done yeoman's work on getting us to where we are today. Thank you, Liz. Thank you, Teresa, Jeanette, Joan, Stephanie, and Karen for all that you've done. We're going to unveil our logo. We're going to unveil our new name. We have a new website. The website is now live, thekennedycollective.org. We are creating stories that we are calling the Collective Voices, and those stories we will continue to contribute and add to. Today, from my perspective, is about celebrating three things. It's about recognizing our past and where the past was and where we've come from and what made something happen in 1951 that continues to happen in 2022. From my perspective, what means the most was really captured by an author, a scholar, a lecturer, and a genuine human being, Leo Buscaglia. Leo wrote a book called Love in 1970. And in that book, he's quoted to say, "Love is always bestowed as a gift, freely, willingly, and without expectation. We don't love to be loved, we love to love. And we all need each other." And that is the symbolism, that is the day-to-day message that occurs from our frontline employees to our board of directors to our esteemed elected officials and every stakeholder that's part of this organization. This organization was founded on the principle of loving someone who is different and ensuring that that difference goes away and that person and those people have the ability to be in their community. That's what we've stood for 71 years, and that's what we'll continue to stand for the next 70 years. The next principle is from one of my business gurus, one of my favorite authors, Jim Collins. Jim Collins has written several books. Jim Collins is a mentor to Fortune 100 companies, and he wrote a book in 1994 that still is very present today. Jim wrote the book Built to Last, The Successful Habits of Visionary Companies. The only truly reliable source of stability is a strong inner core
and the willingness to change and adapt everything except that core. And that is what the Kennedy Collective has done for 71 years. The core is what we believe about the power of people. The core is what we believe about how people, each of us, has purpose, and we can deliver that purpose, and we can share that purpose with our community. Our definition of community is anywhere we are in community. And so Jim Collins also says, if there is any one secret to an enduring great company, it is the ability to manage continuity and change, a discipline that must be consciously practiced even by the most visionary of companies. We have clearly adapted and changed in the last 71 years, but the core commitment that we have to people hasn't changed, and that is the steadfast thing that makes us a company that was built to last. We owe Evelyn Kennedy, we owe the families that were the original founders of this great organization a huge debt of gratitude, because as I've said in the past, since I arrived here, they made a promise for us to be here, and we in turn are making a promise for those yet to come. And then my third favorite book, my third favorite quote, my third favorite connection for today comes from The Tao of Pooh, written in 1983. I love Winnie the Pooh. My favorite Winnie the Pooh character is Tigger. I think I'm Tigger. I bounce, bounce, bounce. But what we see in The Tao of Pooh is that the art of being content and happy in any situation. When we look at what we've struggled with, what we've been challenged with, what we have done, what we've accomplished, there is happiness that is the golden thread to all of that. When I go into our program sites, when any of us go into our program sites, when any of us speak to our employees who are delivering service on a day-to-day basis, there is a happiness that is a part of everything we do. Go back up to Leo Buscaglia's love. You can't be happy if you don't have love. And we have that in spades here at the Kennedy Collective. This Tao of Pooh speaks about the uncarved block, the future that we want to create and live into. Evelyn Kennedy helped create that future. We now have our uncarved block, and we are creating a future as well. That book, the quote about future, the quote about happiness and steadfastness is extremely dedicated to our employees. The employees of the Kennedy Collective, all of you that are here today, all of you that are working in sites today and couldn't be with us in person, you are the heart of this organization. And the people with disabilities that we support and ensure that you have your rightful place in the community are the soul of this organization. And when we look at what Evelyn created and what we're now creating, we continue to create heart and soul. And so for that, I am thankful. I am honored to be a part of this tremendous organization, and that is now time to reveal well, you've already seen on a couple of logos here, but we're going to switch from here. I'll ask you to point your attention to the screens, and we have several of our individuals from our landscaping operation and day program sites ready to reveal the new Kennedy Collective name and logo. All right, folks, it's all yours. Take it away. I don't know if they can hear me back there. We need a megaphone, right? Hey, you guys. There we go. Thank you, Sandy. We didn't practice this. This is live TV. So what does the Kennedy Collective mean? We certainly have a tagline that when we unite as a collective, our abilities have no bounds. And when we're united, and that's another concept from the Jim Collins book, Built to Last and Good to Great. It is about being united in purpose, in core. One of our main values here at the Kennedy Collective is to create purpose. And that creation of purpose then leads us to each of us having a role to ensure that all people that we connect with flourish and thrive in their communities. And so when we look at that, we're a part of a broader community. We're a part of a national community. Congressman Himes is very aware of the work that's being done by people with disabilities to support federal government through the Ability One program. Congressman, we absolutely would love for you to be the Connecticut's first Ability One champion, and want to talk more with you about that because of your support for the disability community and the work that they do. We're part of a broader state community. We're a contractor for the state of Connecticut. When we look at who we are as a business, when we look at what we do in our workforce and our people, we're bringing the most vulnerable in our communities to the front and center so that they have a seat at the economic table that each of us enjoys. When we look at what the collective means for us locally, the collective, the Kennedy Collective, operates in more than 35 physical sites throughout Fairfield and New Haven counties and more than 110 communities throughout the state of Connecticut, and we also operate in Albany. We have a federal contract for HUD as part of the Ability One program where we employ 7 people, 6 of whom have significant disabilities in Albany. And so our reach is expanding from here in Fairfield County. We're going national, and we have opportunities to impact the lives of people with and without disabilities in every interaction that we have. And so that's the nature of the Kennedy Collective. And so we're gathered together to celebrate what we do together. And so at this particular time, with our esteemed guests, we'd like to give you an opportunity to share, if you'd like, a few words. We have several proclamations from various officials, and Congressman will give you the opportunity to go first if you'd like, sir. Thank you. Congressman Jim Himes.
Thank you, Rick, and a big thank you to the board and the supporters of the Kennedy Collective, and most importantly to the incredible staff that every single day delivers love to people who need that love and support. It is such a privilege to be here with my fellow elected officials. If you think about it, you got at every level, you got municipal, you got state, you got federal, you got both parties, all here to say thank you for the wonderful, wonderful work that you do and to pledge that we will continue to support this mission. I sometimes think about what Mrs. Kennedy would think. Think about her back in 1951, outraged because the only option for her son was to be put away and anonymized. And she said, no way, we can do it differently. And I don't think she has any idea or had any idea at the time what her vision would grow into because of the remarkable commitment and work of all of you. And the name change, look, a name change is a name change, but think about it. A center is a place that you go. It's a building somewhere. It's apart from you, whereas a collective is all of us working together, the way Mrs. Kennedy, I think, would have acknowledged. So on behalf of the people that I represent, and I know speaking for all of the elected officials here, thank you for the work that you do. We're there for you, and we want to see you grow, not just in Fairfield County, but nationally, to deliver love to people who need it. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. Senator Wong. And Representative Rutigliano. A twofer, thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for having me. I think it's very powerful when you use the word collective. The idea of individuals coming together as a group to facilitate a goal. So the name is quite appropriate, and I thank you for having me today on this important occasion. It would not be appropriate if we didn't acknowledge the people who built the Kennedy Collective, from Evelyn to Mary Brown, Isabel Broadhurst, to the people current here, Smiths, the Kellermans. The reason I say that is because it is those individuals that have taught me the important value of what the Kennedy Collective means. It means giving opportunity to their children and their loved ones so that they can live full and joyous and fulfilled lives. And what you have done in this effort is to make a move to not just simply existing, but thriving. You are creating an opportunity for many of those with intellectual disabilities to be able to thrive, to be able to be engaged. And For all those people that I named that have passed on and those that continue to be advocates of the Kennedy Collective, you embody that. And you are the people that motivate me every day to support you unconditionally. So thank you very much for having me here. It's an honor, but it's also a testament to recognize all the people that came before that have made a difference in the lives of their children and the lives of others as we move forward. I thank you for your leadership in understanding that in moving forward, you're creating a much more vibrant, engaged, and a sustainable Kennedy Collective. So thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am so very proud and humbled to be here. The first political advice I ever received was nobody ever booed a short speech. So that's a true statement, Congressman. So I really would just like to associate myself with the remarks by the good senator, but also to let you know that I represent the people of Trumbull. This building happens to be in my district, and we are so proud and happy that you are here and that you remain here. And we couldn't be happier for you with your name change and everything. And I guess the best compliment I can give you is that we go to lots of things, we interact with lots of groups. Whenever we're around your people and you and your collective, we always feel better when it's over and when we're done. We walk away always feeling a little better about ourselves and about the world. So you guys are really giving a gift to everybody. So thank you very much. Good luck.
We could take a moment to present a proclamation from the state of Connecticut to Rick and to the Kennedy Collective. So we actually changed the name to the Kennedy Collective, so we can present that to you.
Hold on one second. Could we get Julie and Tiffany to come up here and accept the proclamation?
Yeah.
And Jamie?
Come on down.
I always wanted to be taller than you. Great. Excellent. Thanks. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, folks. Congressman, thank you for your remarks. Senator, Representative, thank you. And now I'd like to invite Kathy, who is representing First Select Woman Vicky Tesoro.
Thank you. On behalf of Vicky Tesoro, who unfortunately had so many conflicts this morning, we have not found the 8th day yet for her. So she sends her apologies, she sends her best wishes, and she sent a proclamation, which I won't read the whole thing, but a few of them that express how we feel about the Kennedy Collective. Whereas the Center is one of the largest and highly regarded community rehabilitation organizations in the state, supporting the special needs of children, teens, adults, and seniors citizens who have disabilities, and whereas effective today, the Kennedy Center will become the Kennedy Collective, and whereas the new name reflects the organization's core belief that it takes a collective approach to ensure people with disabilities have a voice, are valued, and are provided with opportunities to succeed. Now, therefore, on behalf of Vicky Tesoro, by virtue of the authority vested in her as First Selectman of the town of Trumbull, does hereby proclaim October 6, 2022 as the Kennedy Collective Day.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
That is excellent. Thank you very much, Kathy. And when you find that 8th day, I'm sure there will also be a bag of diamonds, a little satchel that goes with that, because I'm continuously looking for a little bag of diamonds. And now I'd like to invite First Selectman from Monroe, Ken Kellogg, to the podium. Ken, thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take a clue from over here. Short speeches are always good. I agree. I won't take up a lot of your time. I'm here today really not just to congratulate you on this wonderful transformation, but to thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the residents in our community. You know, I've been privileged to visit the center in the past, to meet a lot of the folks that receive these tremendous services, and I have always been just inspired on how alive they are, and how much you can see in their eyes, how much they just appreciate everything that's done. And I can't be more proud and more happy and more grateful for all that you provide to our citizens. And the value that you provide is simply immeasurable. So we thank you. I also have a proclamation for you, and again, I won't read it, but it recognizes Evelyn Kennedy and the 12 parents from 1951 that started this journey, and recognizes your new vision, and reflecting the core beliefs of a collective approach to ensure that people with disabilities have a voice, are valued, and provided with those opportunities to succeed. And thanking you for the many services and the many residents in Monroe that I know receive your services. So in this proclamation, I also recognize today, October 6, 2022, as the Kennedy Collective Day in the town of Monroe as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We also have proclamations from Stratford, from Fairfield, and from Milford. The representatives could not make it today. They're too, like Vicki and her team are looking for that 8th day. This concludes the formal part of the celebration today. Tia, would you like, Tia, my total apologies. Okay, I'll talk to Tia later. This concludes the formal part of our presentation today. The Kennedy Collective is made up of our residential supports, our day program supports, our employment supports on the traditional human services side, and then on the business social enterprise side, we have warehousing, logistics, and manufacturing. We have workforce development and staffing. We have behavioral intervention, and we have facilities management and maintenance. As part of our retail operation, we also have a cafe, and the cafe is named Soups and Such. And so we have representatives from the Soups and Such Cafe to share with us some of the delectable delights. Say that 10 times fast. Over here to my left, you can enjoy some of the goodies from Soups and Such Cafe. Mingle with each other. Again, thank you all very much for being here. Congressman, Senator, Representative, First Elect Woman. We still say First Elect Men though, right? Okay. And First Selectman Kellogg. Everyone that's in attendance is making a difference for the future, and that's what we take away with us. And the words of Leo Buscaglia about giving love then creates more love for people to share in. So thank you all very much for being a part of a very special day. Over to my left. Get all the food you want.